Cache My Golden Paradox from Blue Dwarf. Podcast voiced by Rebecca Tordoff. Original post written by Andy Jones and Rebecca Tordoff on March the 24th, 2011. Yes, I still know the code. You should probably change that, considering the hive mind, Rosette said, as the door to Rufus' lab swooshed open. Tria's gun turret spun to scan the intruder into Rufus's lair, but moved back to its idle position shortly after. You have a point. Tria, update the codes, please. Keep it random on the usual parameters, Rufus said. He was busy with a pile of parts in the corner, strewn all over a workbench in the middle. He added another armful of scrap to the table. He looked up at Rosette and blushed fiercely. Rosette tried to hide a grin at noticing the young genius blush, but more important things were going on. I'm sorry for what the imposter did to you, by the way, Rosette said, having been reminded of it by Rufus's email. I could see everything the bug did. It used my memories and feelings to be more real, she said. The experience of hurting Rufus while not being in control had made her a little more cautious around him, but she tried to hide it. Yes, well, I had an idea about the Winton-bot. It's when it exploded, you see. Its hand hit the time fridge. I fixed the dent, by the way. It should be fine. And after running some scans on the bits left over, it was riddled with nitrogenic frigid chronotorians. And that was when it struck me, you see. The pure genius of it. It's all a plan that was set in motion by me, to wind Seymour up. He does need a kick up the ass, by the way, to get his life sorted. Rufus rambled, forgetting his nervous stutter amongst the science. Rosette blinked. Then again. Several more blinks later, she said, Okay, so you sent the robot back in time from about now to when I saw it on the security cameras, she asked, still trying to get her head around the longest word she'd heard in a very long time. Heh, I love it, she said, then found herself blushing because she'd used the L word in front of him, and turned away, making it look like she'd decided to take that moment to look at the broken robot in the time fridge. How can you send that back when it's so broken? Well, I've got to build it first. I've timed it to explode so that I don't get in trouble. The SCTP don't like paradoxes. Been a while since they were around, though, Rufus said, holding up an arm to the light, making an affirmative noise and thrusting it at Rose. Hold this. We don't have long before the Space Corps get here. I'll have to let them in, of course. Tria doesn't like it when people fire guns at her. Although the Hymenoptera hologram in the corridor should at least give us a few more minutes. You really don't fall for that anymore? Does anybody? I know it's not real, she said, taking the arm from him. And besides, I'm chief of security now. You really think I'd let a Hymenoptera wander the corridors of the science deck? She said, though feeling a bit sheepish that she had once been a Hymenoptera, wandering the corridors of the science deck. There's no way I'd let the Space Corps in here without a fight, she said, her sidearm still in its holster at her side. She used the hand at the end of the robotic arm she was holding to brush some hair from her eyes. Thanks for thinking up this plan. If Seymour had actually sold this, she said, spinning the bracelet around on her wrist. It wasn't long before Rufus had completed the robot, a lifelike replica of the past. Although if you think about it, the one from the past was a lifelike replica of this one. Time travel is funny that way. Rufus rummaged under the desk and pulled out a small package. I'll need an ammo clip from you for the, explosion, Rufus said, holding out his hand, trying not to look at Rosette. Reluctantly, she handed over her spare. This means I've only got the one clip if the Space Corps come, she said, watching him work. At some point, I'm going to have to go back and kick Seymour's ass, she said. As much fun as that would be, I expect there will be Space Corps all over the ship by now. Going out on my own would make me an easy target, she said, strongly suggesting that she was going to wait here. Tria, change the hologram outside to a Molopod militiaman, will you? That'll keep him busy. I need to make sure Amber is okay. With Jay acting like this, it'll be her neck on the line from the Space Corps too. With Mum's holodisc dying again, I'm worried that she'll be acting as rashly as... well, you know what she can be like. Come on, he said, heading for the door, grabbing his walking cane on the way out. This podcast is a work of fiction and is in no way endorsed, approved, or even liked by the creators of Red Dwarf. For more stories and information, visit bluedwarf.co.uk.